Picture this. You're 4 points down on hostile soil against the loudest crowd in golf. History says you've got no chance. But then, one rookie goes nuclear, one veteran turns into a rock star, and one nervy 6-footer changes everything. This is the miracle at Medinah, the day Europe turned despair into destiny, and the Ryder Cup into a legend. In 2012 at Medinah, the United States stormed through the first 2 days to build a commanding 10-6 lead. Europe's task was monumental. They needed 8 points to retain the cup and 8.5 to win it outright. By Sunday evening, the scoreboard read Europe 14.5 to 13.5. The miracle at Medinah wasn't just a headline. It was arithmetic, nerve, and a few putts that deserve their own IMDb pages. Setting the scene. Medinah Country Club's course number 3, tucked into the Chicago suburbs. The captains. Davis Love III leading a star-studded U.S. side, José María Olazábal guiding Europe, still raw with emotion after the passing of his close friend and Ryder Cup icon, Seve-inspired. Europe leaned into that legacy. Seve's silhouette stitched into the bags. Sunday uniforms in Seve's signature navy and white. Subtle like a drumline, it was a reminder to play with fire and defiance. The U.S. had youth, power, and a 4-point cushion. Europe had history on their shoulders, and, as it turned out, the belief to pull off one of the greatest comebacks in all of sport. Friday, digging the hole. The opening morning foursomes offered balance rather than breakthroughs. 2 matches apiece, leaving the score at 2-all. Europe could live with that, but the afternoon fourballs tilted the momentum hard in the other direction. The American pairings found their stride, rolling in putts and feeding off a home crowd that was already in full voice. By the close of play, the U.S. had taken 3 of the 4 matches, building a lead that gave the first day a decidedly red hue. One spark kept Europe from being completely snuffed out: Nicolas Colsaerts. The Belgian rookie produced a round that felt more like a highlight reel than a scorecard: 8 birdies and an eagle, single-handedly carrying Lee Westwood and fending off Tiger Woods and Steve Stricker. It was the kind of performance that proved why fourball exists. One player on fire can rescue everything. Score after day 1, USA 5, Europe 3. Saturday, thunder, then a spark. The morning session began with American momentum and a soundtrack that sounded suspiciously like confidence. In foursomes, the U.S. machine purred. Tidy tee shots, clutch putts, zero charity. The headline act was Phil Mickelson and Keegan Bradley, dismantling Luke Donald and Lee Westwood 7 and 6. A scoreline that looked like a misprint and set the tone for the day. The Americans took the session 3-1, stretching the lead to 8-4. It wasn't just the points. It was the body language. The U.S. looked free, loose, and fearless. Europe looked thoughtful. José María Olazábal started adjusting dials, some leashes shortened, others lengthened. Chemistry trumped resume. His message was simple: play the shot in front of you, and if you need a North Star, remember the name on your bag. Seve. The afternoon fourballs didn't initially reward the tinkering. The U.S. banked the first 2 matches quickly, extending the gap to 10-4. Putts dropped with the kind of casual certainty that suggested inevitability, and European fans everywhere began hearing faint violins. American pairings looked effortless, one player bombing it long, the other mopping up. Buddy cop golf where the mystery was already solved. But then the match order, which had looked harmless on paper, tilted Europe's way. Up the sheet, Donald and Garcia steadied themselves, hitting fairways and grinding down Tiger Woods and Steve Stricker. Their narrow win wasn't just a point. It was proof that red numbers could be erased, slowly, stubbornly. Down the order came the anchor: McIlroy and Poulter. Rory supplied horsepower, Poulter supplied theater. From the 14th hole, Poulter went birdie, 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 5 in a row. Each one louder than the last, each one seemingly powered by sheer defiance. By the time the final putt dropped on 18, the match flipped 1 up. And so did the mood of the entire Ryder Cup. It was still 10-6, not a tie, not even close, but the difference between 11-5 and 10-6 was psychological oxygen. Europe had something to chase, something to believe in. Instead of drafting eulogies, they scribbled a to-do list for Sunday. And a quiet subplot: Tiger and Stricker, the partnership the Americans most needed to click, never found 5th gear. That hint of vulnerability was filed under endgame possibilities. Score after day 2, USA 10, Europe 6. Was Poulter's day 2 performance the greatest in Ryder Cup history? Let us know in the comments. Sunday, 12 singles, 1 mood swing. The final day began with a siren and a scare. Rory McIlroy, victim of a time zone mix-up, nearly missed his tee time. A police escort got him to the first tee just in time. Heartbeat racing, he recalibrated, and by the end, he delivered a 2-1 win over Keegan Bradley. From chaos to composure in a single commute, Sunday's first metaphor. Europe came out firing, piling blue on the board early. Luke Donald over Bubba Watson, 2-1. Calm hands, tidy margins, a captain's dream start. Ian Poulter over Webb Simpson, 2-up. Saturday's adrenaline still buzzing, the postman delivering again. Rory McIlroy over Keegan Bradley, 2-1. Aura restored, police-escort forgotten. Justin Rose over Phil Mickelson, 1-up. A bomb on 17, a birdie on 18, and Mickelson's classy thumbs up. Theater with manners. Paul Lawrie over Brandt Snedeker, 5-3. Clinical, almost impolite. A rout that shouted louder than Poulter's fist pumps. Suddenly, the impossible looked plausible. The board shifted from nice try to everyone breathe evenly. The U.S. counterpunched. Dustin Johnson beat Nicholas Colsaerts 3-2. Zach Johnson edged Graham McDowell 2-1. Chicago found its voice again. Europe's surge was real, but so was resistance. Then came another wave of blue. Lee Westwood over Matt Kuchar, 3-2. A veteran's reminder that scar tissue can steady the hands. And then the hinge. Jim Furyk led Sergio García 1-up with 2 to play, but Furyk bogeyed both 17 and 18. Sergio slipped through the trapdoor, winning 1-up. That wasn't a swing, it was a collapse. The scoreboard read 13-13. Jason Duffner beat Peter Hansen to even things once more. 2 matches left. Martin Kaymer versus Steve Stricker, Tiger Woods versus Francesco Molinari. Europe needed a half to retain, 1 to win. At 18, Stricker holed a testing par. Kaymer faced a 6-footer that carried every ounce of Olazábal's team talk and Seve's silhouette. Miss, and the fate would shift to Molinari. Make, and Europe had the cup. Kaymer buried it. Center cut, ice cold. 14-13 Europe. Retained. In the anchor, Woods and Molinari halved their match after concessions on 18. That half point wrote the final line. Europe 14.5 to 13.5. Not just rescued, won. Why it really was a miracle and not just a nice story. The math alone makes it staggering. To trail 10-6 away from home means you need 8.5 out of 12 points in singles. That's not momentum. That's a mountain. And yet Europe scaled it, delivering an 8.5 to 3.5 blowout on U.S. soil. That's not a hot streak. It's organization under maximum stress, with every player hitting their line in a script no one believed possible. Momentum had chapters. Poulter's 5-birdie finish on Saturday gave Sunday permission to exist, proof that red numbers could be erased. Justin Rose's bomb on 17 against Mickelson flipped a likely half into a vital blue point, a rewrite in real time. Sergio Garcia's late steal from Furyk turned Kaymer's putt from important into defining. These weren't just shots. They were turning points, each one resetting belief. And identity mattered most. Olazábal's Seve-forward Sunday wasn't just sentiment, it was a game plan. Courageous lines off the tee, fearless putts in front of hostile galleries, and body language that screamed, "Bring it on." Legacy wasn't a burden, it was fuel. Thanks for watching. We'll be covering all things Ryder Cup, so stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe.